Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm going to start my mod for that purple handheld that I have. I'll leave down in the description the name of it and all that. Let's get started. I wanted to show though this little light. This little light here, it's so small that I ordered some of these that are purple. I was going to put in there, but there's just too many to put together, and they're too small. So I'm going to avoid using those. As you can see, they're really tiny. I mean, they're not even. If you took a grain of rice and cut it in like 4 or 5 pieces, take the smallest piece. That's basically what it is. It's almost like glitter. You know how glitter is real small? It's almost like 1 or 2 sizes up from the smallest glitter. I mean, it is that small. It's so, and of course I did test it. It went to pardon the hair or whatever that's going on right there, but so I had to put it on a piece of tape and tape it down. It's stickiness because anyway, it only powers at 3 volts to 5 volts. I went to 6 volts, and it was at its limit. At 7 volts, it blew up. It popped, as you can see there. But I thought I'd share that because I did order lights, and they're just too small. They're just really small. They're just not worth dealing with there. So let's get rid of that. I mean, they're just too small to use. Okay, this is what we will be using. I just throw some light over here. It's basically those cheap light strips. These can handle like 2.5 volts to 5 volts, I think. So we will, and then just peel these off. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take too wide here, as you can see, right here. If I come in, so you can hear the roosters. I got some chickens in the backyard, so pardon me for that. Anyway, so basically too wide. We're gonna use 2 of these wide, and then so it's gonna be like this, and then one of them's gonna, and then I'm gonna have just one of these in the down position. I'll show you in a second here. Okay, this is what I'm gonna be using. The Miyoo Mini Plus. Basically, what we're going to do is I'm going to put the lights long ways. Like I said, 2 over. It'll be 2. It'll be too long on here, and I will I'll snip it off that way, long ways, and then I'll have one like right here. So it'll be like a T or a cross, however you want to comprehend that. And then I just got to find a place to put the power, hook the wiring in on it after I take it apart. And now the battery's 3.7 volts, so, and these can handle at the weakest, I think 2.5 volts. So, but it can handle up to 5. Hopefully it doesn't want 5 volts, but we'll figure this out. But I just thought I'd start this video, start doing this, because I really want to put some lights in this. So like I said, one light up and down, and then 2 across, and it should fit right in there. I just got to find out a spot to put the voltage to wire it up. But I'll show you like little you know, how they do in videos, how you pause it and go to the next step so that you don't have to, so the video isn't as long. But anyway, the next part of the video, I'm gonna snip these off, and we need to solder these together. The blue and the red. So I want to make purple. So it has to be blue. It has to be blue and red together, and then a positive. I'll show you the wiring. I'll solder this up, and I'll show you, you know, how it needs to be wired up for to change these lights on here. All right, let me try and solder some of this on here. There we go. A little bit there. So anyway, what's going to happen is, better off doing it under there, huh? Ain't nothing. That's just a little. Basically, I'm soldering two negatives together, so they're going to be put on. If I do this correctly, if I remember how to do it, basically, what's going to happen is you're going to want. It's going to be like this. One positive on the end there. Let me get the tweezers so you can see it better. Positive right there. You need a positive wire attached right there. And then to make purple, you're going to put blue and red together as two negatives. And so it's basically going to go on one of those on that end, and then the other end's going to go right here on the red. And if I do it correctly, when I get it all soldered up, it'll the blue and the red will be on at the same time, which causes it to turn to purple. And that's how we will rig this up. Show a little bit of this if I can get it to work right for myself here. And basically you're soldering the ones you want. Now remember, the blue and the red are going to be crossed, so they're going to be together, so that won't be as much of a problem. So blue and red together make purple. Alright, so that's those three that we need to put solder on. And you gotta be careful because it's really flimsy, these things. So when I go to do it, it should go right on there. It's just kind of difficult to do, you don't have anything holding it on there. I gotta do it. My hands are basically full when I do these. But you can put it on there either way, however you want it. Okay, let's see if I can do it. Basically, you just And then when you go do the other one, I'll have to do off camera, but you'll see it when it's done here. See if I got that on there. Let me get that on there right. On there enough, I don't know. Yeah, it's a little iffy there. Anyway, I'll show you if I did it correctly or not. I'm gonna do something real. All right, I'm gonna throw some power on this. See, we got purple. It's crossing right there, but you can see it. There we go, purple. You can see it in the camera or not, but it is purple. That's how you put them together. I'll go over the soldering one more time, make sure that I got enough soldering, because I got to put the positive wire on this end right here. Put the positive wire right here, and then they'll be wired up for these two. I got to do this one more time. I will do it off camera and show you the end result. It's kind of messy on the soldering here, because I was I had my hands full doing this one, but because this kept moving on me, so I put it on a piece of tape so it won't move. But I'll show you the end result here. Show you a little bit more. Show you a little bit more soldering. Go. Looks like a mess, but it's definitely connected on there. These are kind of flimsy anyway. Like I said, this is just a little simple lead mod, purple light that I'm gonna put in there. Now I got to basically cover these up so that they don't short out or touch the board or anything, which I'll use that kind of sort of like a rubber stuff. We'll put them on here and heat them up and seal this off. But I don't want to put too much on there, just enough to cover this so that it doesn't touch anything. Basically heat shrink stuff for wiring. I got a little kit here. Like I said, you don't want to make it these too big or too small. You don't want them like super long. For instance, when you put it on over it, you don't want to have it like way out here. You want just a small piece just to cover it. Which I'll show you that. I had to go with black because that was the only whitest one to put on there. There we go. There we go. It's just to keep it from doing anything stupid to burn out, to short out anything. You don't want that. You don't want that. And then just so when you put the power to it, I got a little power tester here. You put the power to it, positive, negative. There. Purple. Can't really see it, can you? Here, let me turn the light off so you can see it. There we go. Well, it's purple. You can see it. Sort of looks sort of like a like a ruby red almost. Purple red. But anyway, well, that's like I said. That'll be two lights that'll go across, and then I'll have one that goes down this way, which is this one here. So basically, it'll be like this to start out with. Just put nose in there, and then I'll put some more heat shrink on this. Not burn myself. I kind of lightly burn myself. Safety tip: don't do that. It's real light. It's a real light sting there. But you know, doing everything on camera, you can kind of get careless too. So as a safety concern, be careful. Be careful. I think you saw it in video how close I got with that flame in my finger, and I kind of played it off. It's all right. It's all right. It's just you know, it is what it is. You want to make videos, sometimes there's a price to pay, I guess. But no, I'm all right. It's fine. All right, well, I got one more here, and I'll show you that real quick. I'm prepared this time. I'm not gonna burn myself. Okay, we'll let that cool a minute, and then we will test that one, make sure that one works. All right, so what's gonna happen is when I go to put them in there, I'll put some like hot glue down. I'll put some like hot glue to kind of hold them, kind of push them down, and then of course you'll have one this way and one this way, and that's how I'll start out doing it. And then what will happen will be And then I have to find a power source on the board that will run these. Now, because I'm adding something like this, it might drain the battery a little bit more. So it would be probably like probably might lose like I'm just throwing out a oddball number here, is maybe 30 minutes loss on the battery power that will go basically to these lights. So let's say that it ran for 5 hours, it'd be 4.5 at a full charge. And then I was thinking, well, if that doesn't work out, I might end up adding a switch to this so I can turn it on and off as I want to. But I haven't decided yet. I'd rather have them on all the time, but while the power's on. But as of right now, this is just the first step. Is to get I'm gonna do this probably in steps. This will be the first. So basically, I'll be editing it. I'll be putting several parts together. This is the first part of it. Getting the light set ready, wired. Like how I just did. So I got it prepared. And then the next step will be taking the game system apart and doing some power checks. Of course, I'll have to hook the battery back up because you got to take the battery, unhook the battery. I'll show you that process too. Basically, this will probably be one long video, but I'm just going to edit it. Basically, I'm just going to do several separate videos, and I'm going to put them together because I don't have the time to do all of it at once. So I'm just doing one piece of the video at a time. And so there you go. That's the first part of the video. Like I said, I'll probably put them all together, and to you guys and gals, it'll be one video. But for me, it'll be several pieces, several videos put together, because like I said, I just don't have time to do it all at once, and it gives me time to think about it and everything as I go through it, the process of this. So that's how it works. A lot of people can do it all at once, but I like for this specific one, light mod, I'm gonna probably do it in sections because I'll take a break from it and then come back and do another part of the video. So because I got the lights ready now, I just got to open it up. Basically, it's gonna go across like this. Now, try not to make that too long because I'm going to have to probably bend this around to do this. But basically, it's going to be very close on that to the wiring. And that basically it'll go across like this, and then the other one will go down here like this, and we will. So basically what's going to happen is it's going to glow the back. It's just basically going to glow the back of it. Let me see if I can kind of give you an idea of, hopefully it'd be bright enough to glow the back. Basically it's going to go around. It's just going to lightly glow the sides, and then it's going to glow the back. If there's not enough lights, I might end up having to put a couple lights over here. Now the battery's in the way, see? Battery is kind of in the way here. But I thought about maybe drilling a little hole through here to run the wires. If I can't find a spot on here for the power, for the lights, I might have to run it off this wire here. And then if that's the case, I'll have to put an on and off switch somewhere over here so that I can turn it on and off, because it'll always be on, and I don't want to always disconnect the battery because if it's connected to the battery directly. So, but I'll figure it out as I go. That's why I'm doing them in sections, the video in sections, because that way I can kind of feel my way through it. This will be my first time doing it. I have no idea what I'm doing. I mean, I have a little idea what I'm doing, but I don't know exactly what I'm doing. So as long as I don't damage anything, I don't short this thing out. But basically, I said I'm just gonna run the lights here, run a light here, And I'll try to. I'm gonna have to do a really good job trying to do it, because, like I said, I made this a little long, a little too long, I think, on the end right here, this part here. So it's gonna be very. I might have to kind of go in an angle, kind of an angle or something. I like to it to be straight across. So maybe I could, and then kind of move these wires around without breaking them inside this, and kind of wrap it around. That's why I kind of left the wires kind of long. You want the wires kind of long because you can always snip them later. It's good to have a little extra wire on this. But anyway, it's just going to be a simple mod. I just want some kind of lighting on it besides the green and orange. Now I kind of want to hook it to the power light, is what I really want to do. But I might not be able to do that. If not, I might have to rig it up over here somewhere. But like I said, I'll feel my way through this, and I'll take breaks and stuff, and I'll get it figured out, because I'm going to put some lights in this. And so basically, it's just going to light up the sides. You can, so when you're playing it like this, you'll see a light glow around it, and then of course on the back it'll be shining outwards. But anyway, that's the goal anyway. I hope that I can do it without messing anything up. But this is just the first step of the video, and of course I will be taking this apart next. So there's really no reason to put that back together, but I might play it still before I do it. Yeah, he doesn't want to go in there. And the battery, if you can see it, I think it's right there. But I'll just zoom it up here for you, and you can see it. It's 3.7 volts. And these lights can run off of 2.5 volts, or a little less than 2.5 volts, and up to 5 volts. So that's why I chose these. And I showed you those really tiny LED lights. I can't use those. There's just too. I mean, I can do it. I could wire one at a time, but it's not worth it. This one here, these are bigger lights, so it's to me it would just be easier just to put a strip in there and then a strip in there. Because, I mean, I'm already halfway done with the lights already. All I got to do is take this apart, stick them in here after I find the right voltage. Because I'll have to plug this battery in after I get this off. I basically unhook this battery, and then I have to hook it back up and see where the power is. I like to run it off that power light. If I can do that, that would be awesome. And this does not want to go in there the way I want it to. But, well, like I said, it's work in progress. And that, like I said, this is just one. So this video is going to be in several pieces. So all together, I know I'm repeating it, but just kind of explaining it all, so everybody knows. So, and when we go to the next step, so when I come back to the video, we'll be taking this handheld here. We'll be taking it apart, and then I'll do pauses and stuff, and then I'll check the voltages, see if I can find the right spot, and I'll explain that as I go. All right, this is just part one, and like I said, I'm gonna put them together in one video. So you're gonna be saying, well, the video continued, But yeah, it's just in case I wanted to put them up in sections, like do this video and put it up on YouTube here, or just do it all at once. But I'm probably gonna just edit them and put them all together, just so you know the process that I'm doing. Because I know a lot of people don't really show the process. They just, they just, they pause it and they move on, and they edit it so that the video is really close together. But I'm showing you, explaining, showing you how it all works, how I'm going to do it. So, yeah, we'll move on to the part B here, or part 2. So, there you go. All right, this is part 2. Now we tear this down to where we can get to installing the wires, these lights. These lights here that I did in the last part of the video, but you all see it as just one video. All right, this is what I found that would work. All the screws are Phillips, but one of them, this is as you can see, that's the one. I'm going to put it on there wrong, upside down, is a PH1. You can see that. The Phillips one, but this is too thick to get to the bottom two screws, but it will fit all of the screws, but it won't go in these two because they're too tight. So remember these types of little tiny miniature screwdrivers. This is a little flathead. You know, like it had like a little plastic see-through pouch, and it's like a key on a key ring. A long time ago, you could get these like in like bubble gum machines, you know, those quarter ones that did have like sitting outside the stores or inside the stores when you first go in, long time ago. I kept these. Yeah, you can still get these. I think I've seen them around before. There's a little tiny little miniature screwdriver kit, but you can use this, but it needs to be a little bit thinner right here and longer to be able to get in here, which I didn't want to look for them. I know I have some, but this was available to me in my little, I put this in my little my screwdriver set, so that you know, never know if you ever would need something small like this. And so I did test them. I didn't take this apart, but I did test to find out the right size, and this was the only thing that would fit in here. And I didn't want to look for the screwdriver set. I know I have one that would work. It's be a little, you need something longer than, see this here, it's only that way, and then it starts to get fat right here, or wider, and so it wouldn't go down. It was like just a little bit. I'll show you. See, it goes in, but it's really tight, and it needs to be a little bit thinner to get in there. And so this here will work for me. You got to be really careful though. You got to push straight in, kind of firm, so you don't strip them out. These are real small Phillips screws. So let's go ahead and take these two out first. And I loosened them up already. I checked ahead of time to make sure that they would work. But just on these two screws that I'm using this flathead on, I rarely use this for anything, and nothing really ever comes up to be using this. So I figured, hey, you know, I already had it in there. Hey, let's try this, and let's make the effort on this one here, and it worked. So there's one. I just gotta do it a little more. You just gotta be careful, you know, and strip them out. Barely did it though. I almost stripped this out. But basically, what we're doing is we take all these screws out. got that one. It took a little finesse to get that one out. But those two, the holes were too small. I almost had to go find that other Phillips because they didn't want to come out. That one of them came out. The other one didn't want to. But I figured it out. And basically, we pull the battery. And then there's two screws here. Hopefully they're the same size. And so basically what we're going to do is we're going to pop this off. And then we're going to see how complicated it is. And then I'll see if I can solder to this light right here. And there's the screen light. The screen light right here. But it looks like I might have access on this side. And if I have access on this side, so when I pop this off, I won't have to mess with this part. And I still need to put the screen protector on that, glass screen protector. I haven't done that yet. Been kind of putting that off. You know how it is in life. Sometimes you don't do things like when you want to. You wait. Say, I'll do it later. You know, that other things come up. So to these two screws here, hopefully they're the same size as these, but we will see. And we'll get these two screws out, and I will get back to you here. Yeah, they look like the same size as the other ones that took out. So that's good. Just one more. Now what it comes down to is taking this back piece off without doing anything. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. It came right off. Look at that. Nice. Okay. It looks like we've got... might have an issue here. So I was gonna solder to these lights right here. So I'm gonna have to figure something out. Here. But anyway, so basically, if I can do this, figure it out, I'm basically gonna solder to a positive and a negative. When the power's on the board, when it's on, it'll turn the lights on. And it looks like there's just enough room to stick that in there. Right in this spot and right in this spot. So that's good. So that will work, putting these in. Actually, it'd be this way, but that will work. And I lost the button. I lost the button there. To figure out, okay, that's how it goes in there. So we're gonna start losing things. Yeah, basically I can pretty much go any direction I want with this. I can have them turn on if I push a button, these buttons if I wanted to, where if I just push the bottom button, right when it's on, I can have the lights turn on that way. All right. I'm gonna solder it to the power. That's what I'm gonna do. issues with getting it on there the way I want to. It's really small. Just let it go. Oop, don't want to melt that, do we? Looks like the angles are off on it. I might have to do this off camera. There. Something as easy as that, and it doesn't want to work. There's another way you can do it too. But it just does not. It doesn't want to work. A little too much solder. That's how you do that. All else fails, do it this way. I gotta turn it around. As long as it's not hitting that spot over there. Let's see. Here. See if I can go in straight. It is so small in there. It is so small to get that. I have to rearrange it. Alright, I'll do this one off camera here. It's just too hard to do it. It's so small. Not the best job, but... And you see... continuity, they're not touching. They're not touching anything, so... all looks good here on this end. As you see. So... I just got to test a few more things, and I need to find the right switch to use on this. I'm probably gonna have to put a... so it's going to look like this. I'm probably going to have to put a hole. I might put a hole right there and have a switch for that. That's probably how I'm going to do it. It's the other way don't look like it's going to work. And as you can see, positive to positive, negative to negative. Okay, we got our light power now. Now we just got to figure out how to do the switch and glue it all in. But I'm thinking by having a switch on it, I can turn it on and off, so I don't have to use the power, you know, it drain the power continuously. It's just, I only play maybe 10, 20, 30 minutes anyway at a time, so charging it up won't be too much of an issue. You know, I usually play it while I'm laying in bed or something like that, so it's not going to be an issue for me doing this mod this way. But I need to find the right switch, which I have a switch kit right here. I just got to figure out how I want to go about it. I'll have to probably use a 2-pin of some kind, but they're kind of small, so I'll have to figure that part out next. But I think the first thing I should do is get the find the right switch that will work for me. And because it's 3.7 volts, and I even thought about using one of those capacitors, or not capacitors, resistors to reduce the power. You know, kind of cut the power down a little bit, going straight to the lights. But I'm not sure. I mean, it's quite bright by the way it is. I might leave it like that. So basically the next step will be to to find the right switch, and then I will glue the lights in. They'll be glued right here and up and down, and then I'll run this I'll run these wires here. You see the battery's going to be sitting in here, so I can run the wire basically I can either run them down and under and then come up, and then I maybe put a little hole right here. But I will figure this out because I don't want to ruin the case either. But I will have to maybe put a little hole in it and maybe glue the switch upward. But I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out here. Well, these here are they only stay on when you push them. When you let off on the button, they turn off. So they're kind of like joystick buttons, basically. So I got the wrong buttons here. They're switches. These are like joystick buttons. Like, you know how you push on the controller, and it works, and then you let go of the button and it stops. Like the side buttons of joysticks and stuff like that. That's what these are. So this tactile push button switch, they only stay on when you push them. So that means I have to figure out maybe try the power light. So that means I'll have to take it out further out of the board. I think that's, unless I can find a switch for it where you could turn them on and off. I do have those ones that I didn't use on the last for the Sega Genesis. Maybe I can use some of those buttons. Okay, I think I'm going to use this switch here. These are the ones I was going to use on the Sega Genesis handheld. These are only switches I have, and so basically I'm probably just going to put it like right here, like right in the middle. Now it's not lined up. Anyway, I'm going to put it in the middle right in here. But basically it'll be like this. But I'm going to put it right here in the middle. So when you got to do it, your hands are usually like this, and so the switch will be right here. So basically like this, and you have your hands, and I'll have the switch like right here in the middle. So basically I'm going to have to just put just a small hole right here so that this switch will stick through. Basically it'll stick through, so it'll just be this. It'll just be the switch itself, you know, the black part will be sticking out only, and I'll just glue it there or something, and that's how I'm going to do it. And as far as the resistor, I might not need to, since I'm going to be able to turn it on and off. So it's basically going to be 3.7 volts coming through the battery. So I probably will just turn it on and off as I want it on, and I'll see how the battery life will be on it. If I have to put a resistor in it, I could. Resistors basically reduce the power level to whatever you have your positive and negative wire to it. So basically so if it was 3.7 volts, and you put a resistor, it'll reduce it by, depending on what kind of resistor you have. It'll probably reduce it by like 1 or 2 volts. But we'll see what happens. Let me get this set up here, and I'll show you. All right, not exactly the best, but it isn't the worst. It's basically, I dremelled that out with this. Put a little, let's see, I'll put some hot glue around that, and it'll kind of seal it up. Hopefully it kind of blends in. But that's not too bad. It's not too bad. So that's where the switch will be. And it's got to kind of sand it up just a little bit. And I'll solder the wires, positive negatives to this, and glue this switch in last. And there we go. And then all I gotta do is glue the hot glue the lights down on this, and we'll put it back together. Show you that. That's what it looks like. I just got to sand it a little bit, and then we move on to the next and have this done so we can see how good it is. All right, there's the first light, and I'll be wrapping these around that way, and I just gotta put the other light right there. I gotta make sure that I put some hot glue over this so that it doesn't short it out or anything. You need to be careful underneath that one too, which I put some glue under that as well. Everything, I tested that one, everything is good. I just got to do the other light and then wire it all together, then do the switch and continue to test as I go. All right, there's the second light. A little wire, like I said, that's why I left the wires quite long, because I'm going to snip those to where I need to. So when I put that switch in, I pull the cover off with the switch in it. I'm going to have a little room for the wiring, since I don't have those hookups where you can snip both sides of the wire together and then unhook it. Sort of like how the battery has these on the end. If I had that type of thing, I could just clamp it and unclamp it and then pull it off without wires, because remember the switch is going to be right here. So it's when you don't have everything you need, it complicates things sometimes. There we go. Got the butt glued in there. Got the wires in there. Just gonna have to do. No job is always perfect, but it don't look too bad. It's nice in there. Awesome. This is part 3, and I failed. This didn't work when this is 3.7 volts. The batteries hooks to this. It was a complete failure. I basically destroyed the board, and so the game systems is, all the parts still work and everything, but I mean the screen works, and the case, but the board shot. What happened is that this thing is so precise with voltage on everything. It's so picky. It's not like a video game system where you have constant power going to it. Getting enough as much power as necessary. This has a battery, so when I did this mod on here, it turned off. It's it has safety on it or something, saying well, battery must be low, let's turn off. So I removed it, and then I looked everywhere else. I even flipped the board over, and this was 2.6 volts, and it should have worked. And what happened is that it's not getting enough current to go through here. It's 2.6 volts, but it's more like 1.5 volts or something like that by how the light was so dim. So that was a failure. And so I went over here. It was a big mistake. And I got the lights to work, and at first it turned on, and then it did the same thing. It just, it just shut off.
and I couldn't get it back on again. So I decided, okay, well, let's remove everything. And so I started to remove this part right here, which was like 3.4 volts. So I had all the lights were so pretty and bright. But since it's next to the chip, it was a mistake. And so anyway, I eventually gave up. And so I started to desolder it. And it ripped the traces off and it went right through the board. It went right through this side of the board or to the other side of the board. And I think that the screen is still good. I don't think it shorted it out, so I could use this as a spare part, spare parts basically. Because I basically had to order me another one. Uh, I got a different color this time, um, and I also got a different one as well. I didn't want to spend that money because I don't really have much money to spend, but I wasn't gonna let this upset me. You know what I mean? So I said, you know what? I'll just get another one. And so that's the end result of this video is that it worked as I was removing it. It tore the traces and it went right through the board. That tray and the traces are so small. I even tried to, and then it got to the point where I said, you know what, whatever. And so so I just I did everything I could to resolder, and the trace is gone. There's no way of fixing that. It goes through the board. I think this has 2 or 3 layers of this on this board, and it went right through. So there was no way I could salvage this board. There's just no way I could have fixed this. And with my limited skills and limited tools, limited soldering tips and everything else, it was a failure. I was kind of I was a little disappointed. I think I was more disappointed than I was. I don't think I don't think I was angry. I was just disappointed that happened. Because I was taking everything off to just put it back together. Because the light mod, it was a failure. It wasn't going to work. So anyway, I started to remove everything. This was the only one that I didn't remove because I was going to do this one next, but it ripped the trace out. I mean, the trace is so small. I mean, you can't even see it on the camera, but it was so small that it just ruined the device. The device won't turn on now. So I mean, everything worked. I mean, all these parts. So I mean, I can use these parts if I ever, like I'm getting another one. So if something ever goes on, and like a button or something, I can just take it off of here. That's what those repair people do in videos anyway. They the reason why they can repair stuff is because they have so many scrap boards that they failed at soldering right. Just like this was a failure, and it's the same thing with them. They fell too, and so they just use the replacement parts. But these boards, even with the microscope, now my hats off to them. That can fix this stuff because it is so tiny. This stuff is on here. I did really good job for the most part. Oh man, I melted this a little bit, but I took it back off. I cleaned it up best I could. There's some hot glue still, but I didn't even bother finishing it because it was ruined. And so I was just doing this real quick video here, just kind of explaining what took place. Everything was going really great. If you look at the first two parts of this video, and it was going really well, and the lights were working, and then they just shut off because this is so touchy with the voltages. You can't cheat it. You can't go around anything to get that extra voltage. It knows and it shuts off, and like safety, I guess, or something. So there you go. That's the gist of what happened. I almost fixed it. I almost repaired it, but I thought I did. I felt so close to achieving it. I spent all day on this, I wasted a whole day messing with this. So, and I just finally gave up, but I decided to take a break and then come back and make this last video, because this last part of the video, because I wanted to explain it. Please do not mod this. If it's not like in your memory card, like put games on it, or changing the system or whatever. If it isn't something like that, don't touch it. Don't try putting lights in this thing. This thing was so touchy that I ruined it. I did everything. I checked the voltages, everything. I did everything that an average person could do to do it right. Maybe even some professionals as well. The basic same things. It wasn't going to happen. This device said, no, you're not going to mod me. It kept shutting off. It needed every volt, every little bit of energy on every part of this board. It was all balanced, like perfectly. One little half volt off, and it shut off. That's how touchy this handheld is. So I say do not try that. I mean, over a couple little lights, just a couple lights, just put a couple lights in it, and that's what the end result was. Ruined system. But hopefully this taught you guys and gals, when it comes to this specific handheld, do not try to mod it. Do not try to change the voltage on any part of this thing. I'm sure somebody probably could figure out how to do it. I mean, maybe one or two places somewhere hiding on here that I didn't know about. Could have spared this thing, but it was a real nice system. I mean, like I said, the screen's still good. All the buttons, this stuff here, the card reader, the port. See, that stuff I can change. That I don't really have a problem. That's big enough to change. Maybe you have issue with this one because it's kind of small on this, but I could have done that. I probably could have changed, especially these here. These would be the easiest ones to change because they're bigger. But anyway, so as I was taking the wires off, just to clean it back up, put it back together. I mean, it all worked until I removed, ripped that pad right off, and it goes right inside the board. And it is so small. I mean, I don't have that really fine pin, pointy pin type tip for soldering, so it pretty much was hopeless. I didn't even have a chance to, even though I fought to do that. I didn't have a chance. That was the end of it. So this is the first time that I've ever done any modding or anything where I failed as far as I was recording it for videos. I have messed up a couple of things in the past, but it never was recorded or anything like that. So, but here you go. This I was so close of cleaning it up and putting it back together. All I had to do was just remove that wire and this wire here, and it wouldn't have been ruined. All I would have had to have done is put it back together, except for the fact that I did do this switch. That would be useless in there because I couldn't get it to work. When the lights were on, it did work for a little bit, but then, like I said, it was so touchy, it shut it off. The system just shut right off. So there you go. It's I mean, the switch worked too when the light was. I mean, I had several times that I thought, all right, now I just got to put it together. Just solder the wires together and then put it together. Hot glue it and then just close it back up. And I was so close to achieving it, several times, and then it that trace ripped, and that was it. There was no salvaging it at that point. It was over. Right before I was about to close it back up again, but I needed to remove those wires. I just wanted to get rid of them because they were no good, So it happens though. I did that with an NES game cartridge as well. I mean, I did basically like open heart surgery. I did everything I could to stop to fix it. Some things are just unfixable when it comes to electronics, and I realize it more and more. Not to mess with stuff like this. It's so small, but it was going, like I said, it was going really good. I know I'm repeating it, but I'm just kind of just disappointed, and I wanted to share this because I'm going to do all this 3 parts, put it together, and by the time you get to this last part, I mean you'll know what's up there. But I just I just want everybody to know that I did everything I could to mod this thing. My skills was limited. That's all there was. I was going in blind, and I had it was going really well. Then it backfired because the voltage was being drained, and so the system shut off. And all I had to do was go down. Let's say it was 3.7 volts. All I would have to do is go 3.6 volts, and it would shut off. I mean, it's that touchy. So I modded my video game systems. They're always plugged in the power source, so they have plenty of power. But this here, it when it comes to batteries, every bit counts. And so again, I failed at this one. I ruined ruined my system just to put a couple lights in, and like I said, they worked. I mean, you can see in part 1 and part 2 and stuff or when I started to do it, it worked, and then it didn't work. It turned on at first. All right, I did it, and then all of a sudden the light would go out or the game system would shut off. And then I would remove the lights, and it would turn back on. And then I attempted a different part of the board. Everything was going really well. Again, of course, it didn't shut back off again. So obviously, this system here is not to be messed with as far as modding it on the circuit board. Now, if you want to put the onion or whatever that system is on this through the memory card, you probably have a better shot at that to mod it that way or put more games on it or whatever. But anyway, just kind of sum it up, and that is the end result. I'll just put this back together so I don't lose anything, and put the screws in it and everything, and just put it up for parts, because I'm going to get another one. I'm going to get a white one. I ordered a white one so that I can still have this, because I really like this system, and I can change these out if I really want to, but I probably won't. There's just going to be parts for now. It's just going to be parts. I'll just put it in the make a little box and put all that type of stuff in there. But I know I'm rambling on here, but like I said, I'm just disappointed. But and I'm sure you guys and gals are too. See how I was going through the video, everything was going smoothly, and then you got to part 3 here, and it was just bad news. But it happens, it happens. I made a video where I finally failed at some electronics, but it happens. But I did make part 1 and part 2, so I figured I went through all that time making these videos. Let's go ahead and do a quick part 3 explaining what happened. And well, there we go. Lesson learned. Lesson learned on stuff like this. Had to mess with it. It was just a simple couple lights, really pretty purple lights. I mean, everything was going really well. But that's that. Thank you for watching and having patience with me. And those who actually watch the videos, I really appreciate it. And those who subscribe, really, really appreciate it. And I hope you guys got some education out of this, some kind of entertainment at least, and again, I hope you had patience to follow me through the video. I didn't film some of the stuff. I was just it was just so hard doing it on camera. I had to do it off camera. It was just so small, all this stuff. But lesson is learned. Please do not do this. Just let it be and enjoy it. If you get a system like this, just enjoy it. Don't make any effort towards doing any type of soldering on this board, unless it's something simple like a button needs to be replaced or something. Be very careful when it comes to the smaller stuff. You just have to say, well, no, that's still beyond my expertise. I'm gonna have to remind myself of that. But all right, thanks for watching, and on to the next video.